Good morning. Welcome to the Community Church of Chapel Hill, Unitarian Universalist. I'm Alexa Adamo Valverde, a member of the Worship Associates Ministry. I want to welcome any visitors or newcomers to our church and call your attention to the back of the order of service for a special note for you. Welcome guests and newcomers. We also welcome those of you attending online. Lyrics to hymns and all elements of service will be found on the live stream screen. And a complete order of service, including this week's announcements, are in this Sunday morning email and on the church's website. We hope you will join us immediately after service for our in-person Sunday social. And if you haven't already, please turn off or silence any cell phones during service to maintain a worshipful experience. Whoever you are, whomever you love, however you arrived at this beloved place, you are welcome here. And now we will hear from Bronwyn Blas to speak to us about the annual pledge drive. And next we will get a special announcement from Mission Possible Secret Agents about the 2024 Day of Service.
Hi, I'm Bronwyn Blas. I've been a Unitarian Universalist since I was in kindergarten, over 40 years now. And my husband Jeremy and I have been members of the church for almost 5 years now. We have 2 children, Reese, who is 12, and Tegan, who is 8, both of whom are huge fans of the religious education program and Marion and Kat here, a fact which makes me pretty proud as co-chair of the children's ministry. In making decisions about raising my kids, it was a no-brainer to find our local UU church. I am so grateful that my parents found the UU church when I was a kid and for the background and values that it gave me. I want my kids to grow up questioning, loving, appreciating differences, and valuing equity and justice just like I did. And although I can see it now looking back, a part of church membership that I don't know that I fully appreciated as a kid is the way that church provides amazing multi-generational community and connection for both kids and adults. This is something that I believe the community church excels at. I have found that raising kids can sometimes be a little exhausting, sometimes a little isolating. This was particularly true during the pandemic. You can feel like you're in a bit of a silo, trying to make sure that everyone in your family has what they need and they're doing what they need to do, but not necessarily connecting with other families who are in their own similar nearby silos. You can also find yourself limited in the folks that you have the opportunity to connect with, because most of the people you see are either the same age as you or the same age as your kids. But here's where I found that the magic of church can come in. Not only does it provide terrific values for our kids, it can help your whole family break out of your silo and create connection and community for kids and grown-ups alike. I love the fact that we were able to Zoom church, Zurch as Kat calls it, throughout the pandemic, maintaining the connection even if it was virtual. I love that my family gets to show up here on Sundays and throughout the year for other special events and has the opportunity to join in fellowship with all the amazing people of all ages who call this their church home. I love that we all sit together during multi-generational services. I love that the Special Buddies program has introduced both my kids and me to so many fantastic members of this congregation that I don't know that I would have met otherwise. And I love all the work we do and to live our values together on the day of service and through all our fantastic committees and ministries throughout the year, helping others in our community and our world. This church is truly a special place and a community that I am so glad to be a part of and so grateful that my children get to grow up in. And that is why I am glad that I have the opportunity to say thank you and to support the amazing work of this church with the annual pledge drive. I hope that you all will do the same this month. Thank you.
Special Agent King, where do we stand on the Mission Possible 2024 Day of Service?
Recruitment of volunteer agents has commenced. Many have signed up for the 18 available missions, which range from helping the Indigenous Memories community clean up historical burial grounds, to signing up agents for blood donation, to attending the Poor People's Rally in Raleigh. There are missions for youth and families too. Technical intelligence officers Brune and Rose have prepared quick links from the church's homepage to aid in this sign-up effort.
Special Agent Hitchcock, please share with potential volunteer agents what they can expect on the day of service.
Volunteer agents will meet here at church for a Mission Possible Continental Breakfast, where they will be energized by a community church asset, the UUUks. The UUUks. Our highest intelligence operative, Reverend Tom, will prepare us for our important work. Once afternoon missions have been completed, we will meet here at our main secret operations center, the Jones Building, for a hot potluck lunch, more local music, and sharing important intel on our missions.
What level of effort can we expect from this year's day of service?
Our surveillance is still working to determine the final volunteer count. We know from reviewing last year's declassified documents that approximately 260 volunteer agents performed 740 hours of service in the greater Chapel Hill area. Our mission is to meet or exceed last year's operation. We encourage volunteer agents to sign up in the next week to secure a spot in one of these critical missions.
Thanks for the updates, agents. Now, let's help volunteers find a mission that is near to their heart.
Please rise in body or spirit for our opening hymn, number 188 in the gray hymnal.
If you don't mind, we're gonna add an extra line to this piece. This "Come, come, whoever you are," and there's a line from the Rumi poem that doesn't often get included. "Though you've broken your vows 1,000 times, come yet again, come." So the bassists are gonna sing that throughout, and then we'll incorporate that into the regular round. But let's just sing that opening line a few times. It's kind of a bass line. So give us an E flat. Though you've broken your vows 1,000 times, come yet again, come. Once again. Though you've broken your vows 1,000 times, come yet again. Now let's start from the top of the written music. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no errand of despair. Now we'll try it as a 4-part round.
Again, come.
The words for our call to worship were written by Tara Humphreys. Whether you are from the South, the East, the North, or the West, whether you were born into this faith, found it, or it found you, whether you feel at home or still trying to find your place, Whether you believe in God, are open to mystery, or still have no idea, whether you are unemployed, underemployed, cobbling things together, overworking, or in school, whether you are holding anxiety, grief, confusion, anger, hope, restlessness, or deep peace, Unitarian Universalism has a place for you. It is right here. And this chalice is lit for you. Come, let us worship together. You will find the words for our chalice lighting in your order of service. If you wish to do so, please join us in reading them.
As we gather together for worship this morning, being both near and far, we light our chalice as we do each week. It is a symbol of our faith. May its light be a beacon of hope for the many, those who feel lost, those who feel threat, those who feel tired, those who are uncertain. May our beacon of hope help you find home, help you feel safe, give you respite, and honor your searching mind and spirit.
This piece we're doing is based on a poem, and I had the poem printed in the order of service, so because they're lovely words and important words, and I wanted to make sure you heard them all. So if you look on the third page, I think it's Jesus at the Gay Bar.
This is the point in our service where we take time to hear the joys and sorrows of the members of our community. If you have a specific personal joy or sorrow that you would like to share, please come down to either side, place a stone in the water, come up to the microphone and state your name, and in a few words, please share your joy or sorrow with us. Let us enter into this time of tenderness together.
Good morning, I'm Susan Lindholm, and I'm really happy I have a joy to share. 7 months ago yesterday, our beloved cat Leo disappeared. We feared to coyotes because he was mostly always in the house. And we adopted him as a kitten from the shelter along with another little one who's 11 and a half now and has missed him terribly. So I've been vigilant about visiting the shelter over these months, and yesterday brought home a little 4-month-old darling little kitten, and I'm naming him Bernie after my father-in-law, who was always smiling and was such a huge dog lover. He would surely laugh to have a cat named after him.
Hi, I'm Wendy, and almost 2 years ago I suffered a concussion from mountain biking, and I've been having headaches when using screens and using the computer since then. And last night I was able to watch a movie for the first time with my family, and it was awesome.
have been asked to share a joy. Jeff Petrella and Kristen Trangsrud wanted me to share that their daughter Leanne had surgery on Friday to remove hardware from last year's surgery on her hip. Their joy is that she feels strong enough to go to school on Monday to start rehearsal for the spring musical, Mamma Mia. Also another stone for those joys and sorrows that were not spoken today, but are still very real to all of us. This has been another tough week. There has been conflict and violence in the world. It's a lot to carry. So let's reflect in our time of silence on joyful new family members and friends and being able to do things that we love with our loved ones again. Let's take this moment of stillness to hold ourselves in a place of peace and love. Allow our hearts, our minds, and our nervous systems to take a moment of quiet. And as we feel ourselves surrounded by the peace and the love of this community, let it fill us. Let it hold us. Let it carry us and us be generous with ourselves. And let us share that peace and that love with those around us. Amen.
Please stand in body or in spirit for our sung meditation number 18, What Wondrous Love, in our gray hymnal. Our reading today is an adapted version of For Longing A blessing by John O'Donohue from his book, To Bless the Space Between Us.
Blessed be the longing that brings us here and quickens our souls with wonder.
May our community have the courage to listen to the voice of desire that disturbs us when we have settled for something else.
May we have the wisdom to enter generously into our own unease, to discover the new direction our longing wants us to take.
May the forms of our belonging in love, creativity, and friendship be equal to the grandeur and the call of our souls.
May the ones our community longs for long for us. May our dreams gradually reveal the destination of our desire.
May a secret providence guide our community's thought and nurture our collective feelings. May our minds inhabit our life with the sureness with which our bodies inhabit the world.
May our hearts never be haunted by ghost structures of old damage. May we come to accept our collective longing as divine urgency. May our community know the urgency with which God longs for us.
Blessed be the longing that brings others here and quickens their souls with wonder. May they have the courage to listen to the voice of desire that disturbs them when they have settled for something safe.
May those seeking our community have the wisdom to enter generously into their own unease, to discover the new direction their longing wants them to take. May the forms of their belonging in love, creativity, and friendship be equal to the grandeur and the call of their souls.
May the ones they long for them. May their dreams gradually reveal the destination of their desire. May a secret providence guide their path, their thought, and nurture their feelings.
May their mind inhabit their life with the sureness with which their body inhabits the world. May their hearts never be haunted by ghost structures of old damage.
May others who come with their longing for beloved community accept it as divine urgency. May they know the urgency with which the beloved longs for them. And now it is time for our offertory. Freely have we received gifts that minister to our needs of body and spirit. Gladly we bring to our church and its wide concerns a portion of this bounty. If you wish to donate online, please point your camera at the QR code on the back of the order of service. Actually, it's the front today. And tap the banner that appears. There's also information on the church's website. We will now receive the morning offering.
I am not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say. Nobody wants your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say. No one will love you as you are. But no one won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. When the sharpest words want to cut me down, gonna send a flood, gonna drown him out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me, look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen, I make no apologies, this is me. Oh, oh, oh. Another round of bullets hits my skin. We'll fire away, 'cause today I won't let the shame sink in. We are bursting through the barricades and reaching for the sun. We are glorious, yeah, that's what we've become. I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we're glorious. When the sharpest words want to cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me, look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen, I make no apologies, this is me. Cut me down. I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. This is brave, this is bruised, this is who I'm meant to be, this is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to beat our drum. Marching on, marching on. This is me. Whenever the words want to cut me down, oh, 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 this is me.
Good morning, friends. I'd like to begin today with a question. What was the first moment that you realized that you were a Unitarian Universalist? And let's think about that. If you were born UU, was there a moment that you realized that this was an authentic part of yourself? If you left the UU church and came back, what was it that you came back for? For those of us that were raised in another faith tradition or without any tradition, what was the moment that you realized that this church, and whether you found UUism here or at another church, was the place that you belonged? And how did you find it? I was raised Catholic, and I loved having a spiritual community, but I struggled with the doctrine. As my frustrations with the teachings grew, so did my arguments. I asked so many inflammatory questions that I was completely denied confirmation, and this severed my connection with the church. As I found myself spiritually lost and alone. I felt this intensely during my teens and my early 20s, when my oldest friend died and I lost so many friends to the AIDS crisis. That was a time I desperately needed the guidance of a support of a spiritual community that would accept me for who I was. had no idea where to find one. I was first introduced to the Unitarian Society of New Haven by my best friend Tansy. She worked for the Reverend Kathleen McTeague and insisted that I come to a service. I arrived on a Sunday morning to hear a sermon that spoke to me, and it opened my soul. This was the first time that I had been to a church that did not make me tense up or get defensive or angry. On the contrary, I relaxed, I leaned into it, and I participated. I came back week after week, and I plugged into something profound, and the light turned on in me. I knew that I belonged somewhere. Just knowing that I had a spiritual home changed me. Knowing that a beloved community existed for me mattered. And I have heard similar stories from many of you. Something that was deeply longed for, a place without shame and condemnation, a place to have our whole selves loved and accepted. That was found in this church. How beautiful is that? But one common point I have heard over and over is, why did it take me so long to find you? What could my life have been if I had found you sooner? Why didn't I know you were here? It's easy for people to become lost, to fall between the cracks, and end up alone. I saw many examples of this during my chaplaincy internship at Bridgeport Hospital in Connecticut. I was part of the spiritual care team, and we met with every patient and would ask how they were doing. A haunting number of patients, roughly between the ages of 35 and 75, predominantly male, were alone. We asked if they had partners, family, friends that would come visit, call. No one. No one at all. I sat with many of these people. I listened to their stories. I got to laugh and cry with them. I got to hold their hands. I asked my supervisor if anyone had realized how severe this situation was. And he said, oh yeah, and they're seeing it in hospitals all over the country. I could have ended up this same way if people hadn't continued to reach out to me. The same goes for so many of our young people today. Generation Z, which is young people roughly between the ages of 11 and 26, are considered to be the loneliest generation on record. Many young adults socialize primarily through social media, and this can leave them feeling deeply isolated, unable to connect to real people in real-life situations. I met several of these young adults when I held spiritual support groups in the psychiatric ward. As Mother Teresa describes it, the most terrible poverty is loneliness and the feeling of being unloved. Not every child is fortunate enough to be raised in a church like this. Most people are not raised with a feeling of unconditional love, that they have inherent worth and dignity. Very often, it's quite the opposite. There is a crisis of loneliness and mental distress in our nation. Self-destructive behavior, addiction, depression, extreme politics, and violence can often be the result. When I was in high school, I used to hang out with my sister and her punk skateboarder friends behind the library. A group of men in their 30s, 40s used to drive around, members of a well-known neo-Nazi group from up in Wallingford, Connecticut. They were looking for teenagers that looked lonely and neglected. These men would pull over, strike up a conversation, then they would return again and again. They would build trust. They would take these kids to dinner. They would listen to them. They would pay attention. They offered them something that felt almost like love. Kids that would never have had any interest in their message were being groomed to become future members of their organization. They were seduced by the idea of a community that cared for them when no one else did. Loneliness leaves a hole. 40 years later, and this type of grooming is still going on, but now it's online. Why should we care? Well, for one thing, as UUs, we believe in the inherent worth of dignity of every person. Every life matters. More bluntly, many of these groups doing the indoctrinating can be dangerous and violent, and that affects all of us. Approximately half of US adults report experiencing loneliness, with some of the highest rates among young adults. Social isolation is arguably the strongest predictor of suicide. We live in a culture that emphasizes shame more than love. Many faith traditions weaponize shame and guilt to keep us obedient. The media, social media, and advertising in particular teach us to devalue those considered less attractive, less able, less wealthy, less normal. Some politicians have taken to outright bullying and inciting violence against those that are othered. This year, many people that have been marginalized will find themselves feeling particularly frightened and devalued. Many of us, of our families, and our friends. We now find ourselves othered by the media and public figures. And as angry rhetoric and violence flares up, it may become harder for people to reach out for support. How do we address this fear and shaming? How do we help others stand up against bullies? We stand up with our message of inherent worth and dignity, our message of unconditional love. That's the antidote. But who gets to receive it? Who knows where to find it? I know that you can find our church online. We have a brilliant campus ministry program. You can see our Side with Love team at every protest. We're even having brand new signage put up. We are trying. But still, too many people do not know who we are or what we stand for. You have to know that a beloved community exists to even know to look for one. But there is good news, if I may call it that. And I know that some of you may shy away from that expression because of certain connotations. But we do have good news. We have the best news. We have a solution to the crisis of isolation and loneliness. We are a community that offers love to everyone. And we show that love through infinite acts of kindness, outreach, justice initiatives, and so much care. We show up, we mean what we say, we back up our words with actions. We have incredible concerts and parties. Who wouldn't want to know us? I believe we are called to start spreading our message. Don't panic. I don't suggest we stand on street corners, trying to strong-arm people into believing what we believe. It's not about saving souls. It's about saving lives. I'll say that again. This is not about saving souls. This is about saving lives. I asked a member of this church, who is well known for inviting people into community with us, how do you do it? They said they talk to people and they listen. They aren't trying to sell anyone anything. But if they hear that someone has a need that this congregation might be able to fulfill, they invite them to a service or an event. This idea made my heart sing. It seems like this is something more of us could do. Rather than talk to people about politics or religion, we can share about our community, the events, the music, the friendships. Begin with the commonalities. I've met strangers who ask me what I'm doing with my day. And when I tell them about the services that we're working on or the events that are coming up, they get excited and ask me where this is happening. Reverend Tom and I are having business cards for the community church made up, so we can hand them out when people ask to know more about us. And this may seem old-fashioned, but it is offering the gift of invitation into our community. We can reach out to strangers with our hearts, and if we aren't able to talk to them, start by making eye contact and smiling. And this might sound trite, but a growing body of research indicates that engaging in social encounters, even brief ones with strangers and acquaintances, improves our mood and mental health. And these initially brief encounters are a pathway to build a sense of belonging and community. Why might a smile and eye contact be so important? Because it's how we express love. Let people know that you see them and that you care. We need to show people that aren't on the inside, that aren't already in the know, that there is a place where they will be welcomed and they will be loved. Once we know that we are loved or that we can be loved, we carry that with us. It changes us. How do we become an even more inviting and inclusive church? Think about those things that made you look for or helped you find this church. What were you going through? Are other people going through the same things right now? What does it mean for someone to offer you a hand in your darkest time? What might that mean to others? Here is my call to action. I don't have all the answers here, but I do see a deep, deep need that this beautiful community can help heal. I'm inviting us into conversation. I'm inviting us to brainstorm and experiment, to try and probably fail here and there. But I'm asking us to hear this need and commit to trying to address it together. Our symbol is the flaming chalice. Some consider it the light of community, the warmth of hope. A light that offers safety in the darkest of times. Let us each come up with our own small way of helping those that need us most to find that light. Let us be a point of connection to this beloved community for someone who so desperately needs us now. Amen. Blessed be. Our closing hymn is number 168, One More Step.
Please remain standing in body or in spirit. The words for extinguishing our chalice are in your order of service. Please join me in reading them if you wish to do so. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Please join me in thanking all who contributed to today's service. Made it so worshipful. And please join us in singing Shalom. The words are in your order of service, and as you're comfortable, please hold hands with the person next to you or cross them over your heart.
Thank you.